So Jesus and the Father are exactly alike. Now, my father and I are somewhat alike. We tend to be opinionated and strong-willed. Our noses are rather larger than is strictly necessary. But we are also in many ways not alike. I'm 6 inches taller than my father for a start. My father and I are not exactly alike. When you get to know me, you can guess what my father is like. If you spend a lot of time with him, you would see some family resemblance there, but you'd also notice differences, because we are different people who are not exactly alike. If Jesus and the Father were not alike, then we could never know what the Father is like. And no one has ever seen God the Father, says chapter 1, verse 18. We cannot see him. As Isaiah tells us, God's ways and his thoughts are far above and very different from our thoughts and our ways, so we can't even imagine what God is like without his help. God, in other words, is a mystery to us. But here's the thing. Jesus is exactly like the Father. Exactly. Which means if you get to know Jesus, then you also get to know the Father. Jesus reveals the Father to us. So John completes the thought in chapter 1 like this. No one has ever seen God, but the one and only Son, who is himself God and is in the closest relationship with the Father, has made him known. The Son, at the Father's side, is himself God and has made him known. Now, John doesn't explain to us in chapter 1 how the Son can reveal the Father, but that is what Jesus has just done in chapter 5. They're exactly alike, in the closest possible conceivable relationship with the Father, which means that to see one of them is rather to see the other. Think of identical twins. They look and think and speak alike. You would feel, wouldn't you, that if you knew one of them, you had a good sense of the other. Now, of course, there are differences. There can be very big differences, even between identical twins. But think of identical twins who are most similar to each other, and that's the closest you're likely to get to grasping what Jesus is saying here. He puts it like this in chapter 14. Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. Now, Jesus isn't saying that they are the same person. No. He's saying that they are so alike that to see the one is to see the nature, the character, the concerns, the passions, and the powers of the other. To see Jesus as he truly is, to pay attention and to get to know him, is to get to know God the Father. So as we look at Jesus right now in the Scriptures, the glory of God shines out at us from the face of Christ. And because Jesus and the Father are exactly alike, Jesus is the only place to go for the truth about who God is. Jesus is God, and he is God in such a way that he reveals God the Father to us in all that he says and does. That is the first massive implication of Jesus' divinity. We'll look at the last two in just a moment.